Hey, and welcome back to Chart Toppers. Remember the augments from Fortnite Chapter 4? If you forgot or weren't playing at that time, augments were a super fun mechanic that allowed you to choose between two different buffs every few minutes into a match for a total of 4 augments. These augments range from barely noticeable to literally game-changing. It's been heavily rumored that augments are returning in Chapter 6, and in this video we're going to take a look at 10 augment ideas that I think would be a lot of fun if they made it into Fortnite. Let's get started. Coming in at number 10, we've got Tactical Overwatch. This augment would grant the player a railgun and a recon scanner. If you didn't get the chance to play in Chapter 2 Season 7, these weapons were some of the most interesting and fun Fortnite has ever added. The recon scanner is the ultimate support weapon, allowing you to shoot a pinging grenade that will mark enemies through walls. The railgun is a heavy-hitting laser sniper rifle that can actually shoot through a singular wall. Both of these items are powerful on their own, but when used together, you can make some incredible plays. This augment is sort of a long shot, but as someone whose all-time favorite weapon is the railgun, I would love nothing more than to see this weapon return, and augments make that a little bit more possible. At number 9, we have Battle Bench. If weapon mods return in Chapter 6, I am begging Epic to have more weapon mod benches available to use. The mod system in Chapter 5 had so much potential, but one of my biggest complaints was the overall inability to actually mod your weapons. This augment would spawn a mod bench at the player's current position. Nothing too crazy, but if mods are going to return, I think having a quick and easy way to mod your weapons through an augment would be a great addition. This all being said, I wouldn't be surprised at all if weapon mods don't even make the cut for Chapter 6. I think Fortnite Reload and the current remix season have shown that hitscan weapons are great, and having mods on hitscan weapons might be a little too powerful to remain balanced. Number 8 is a completely random pick, but who remembers the short-lived Chapter 4 item, the Falcon Scout? It was a bird-like robotic drone that allowed you to remotely fly the drone around, pinging enemies, picking up loot, or even picking up downed teammates or enemies. This item was extremely niche, but I'm a sucker for a cool support item in Fortnite, and this definitely fits the bill. This augment would simply give you a Falcon Scout, nothing more, nothing less. Quick shout out to my best friend and Ultimate Duos partner Gus. He's the critical support role player we all need, and I just know that if this augment made it into the game, our win rate would go up drastically. At number 7, I have another really interesting augment idea that I'm calling Sacrificial Lamb. When selected, this augment would give you the one-time ability to instantly revive a downed teammate, but you would take their spot in being downed. I'll be the first to admit, this sounds like a wacky idea, but hear me out. Imagine you're playing with your buddy, she has an amazing loadout, and she's always just really clutch in crazy situations. There's only one problem, she's knocked and the enemy team is on their way to do the same to you. With this augment, you could instantly revive your partner, and now the clutch player with the great weapons can continue the fight while you watch the mayhem from your newly knocked down state. Is this augment extremely situational? Yes, absolutely. But can you imagine the celebration and insanity that would ensue if you managed to pull off the win using this? At number 6, we have a much more normal augment that it's so simple, I'm shocked we actually haven't seen it added yet. Sky Hauler would summon a random car vehicle that would parachute down to your current location, similar to a supply drop. I figured that having it parachute in would be more balanced, so you couldn't just use the augment as a get out of jail free card and use it to instantly escape a firefight. So with mobility in general being so important in modern Fortnite, especially Chapter 4 or 5, and now I'm assuming 6, having the ability to call in a car like this would be super handy for rotating to the next zone or getting away. When I say random car vehicle, I mean it could either be a 2-seater sports car or a 4-seater SUV. I think both vehicles are great on their own, and having both in the augment would just keep things interesting. Number 5 sees us going back to the wacky side a little bit with what I'm calling the Porta House. We have Porta Bunkers, Porta Forts, Porta Fortresses. Each of them are great additions to the game, particularly for zero build, which is what I usually play. Porta House would function just like the others, but instead of a fort or bunkers, the Porta House would spawn a standard 2-story Fortnite house, complete with a few chests and ammo spawns. The house could be used as cover, both inside or on the roof, or as a way to quickly get some more loot using the chest spawns. I had the idea for this after going back to a Fortnite Remix map and realizing how fun fighting at places like Pleasant Park or the other neighborhood locations are. As much as I enjoyed the grandiose locations of Chapter 5, I hope Chapter 6 still has a few of those old school neighborhoods to fight in, and the Porta House would be a great addition to the game. Speaking of grandiose Chapter 5 locations, remember Redline Rig and the rest of the places controlled by Megalodon? This short-lived villain used Nitro, and us players got a taste of it too using Nitro splashes. When used, Nitro gave you unlimited sprint, a powerful bash when sprinting, immunity to fall damage, increased rate of fire on your weapons, a whole lot of cool stuff. Our number 4 augment, Synergy Splash, would give you this Nitro effect when you are within 10 meters of a teammate. This augment would promote staying together, so the player with the augment could have the nitro effect for as much time as possible. I think this style of augment where the player gets an effect if they stay near teammates could be used for several effects in the game, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Number 3 is a fun one, depending on how you feel about junk rifts. Rift Recycler would grant the player a junked rift grenade every 60 seconds. For those unfamiliar, junk rifts are a throwable item that spawns a random piece of junk that falls from the sky, destroying pretty much everything in its path on the way down. Rift Recycler could be game-changing in an in-game scenario where you can consistently destroy the opposing team's cover. The 60-second cooldown should be just enough time where you can't spam junk rifts, but you can still use them to your advantage. Although I'll leave it up to Epic to make sure that 60-second cooldown is enough time. At number 2, we have another weapon duo. Breach and Blast would give the player an explosive goo gun and a rocket launcher. I would imagine most players know about the rocket launcher, but the explosive goo gun was a short-lived item introduced in Chapter 3 that was one of those annoying when used on you, but amazing when you had it weapons. Shoots a stream of goo that sticks to whatever it hits and explodes shortly after. Breach and Blast is an augment that would be perfect to activate if the team you're fighting is held up in a building because you'd have enough firepower to pretty much just get rid of the entire building. Augments like Breach and Blast and our previously aforementioned tactical Overwatch that give you a couple of weapons are really exciting to me because it allows Epic to bring weapons into the loot pool that they normally wouldn't. I firmly believe that large loot pools make for more exciting games, and the unknown of not knowing what exactly the team you're fighting is using makes for much more exciting firefights. Alright, finally at number 1 we have another interesting augment idea. Reload Reflex would grant you a 15% faster reload speed, but the interesting part is that this augment would not remove itself from the augment pool upon activation. What this means is that you could actually stack this augment up to 4 times to have the potential of a 60% increase to reload speed if you manage to get it 4 times. Of all the augment ideas I've presented you with today, I think this one actually has some of the most potential. I gave the example with reload speed, but this same stacking mechanic could also be used on fire rate, damage, magazine size, plenty of things. I'll leave it to Epic to figure out how to balance this one, because good luck. But if they can make it work, it would be a really cool addition to the game. I had so much fun putting this list together for y'all, and I hope you enjoyed it too. Only time will tell if Chapter 6 contains augments, but if it does, I hope Fortnite adds a few from this list to the game. If you like this video, hit the like button and consider subscribing. If you agree or disagree with any of my augments featured, let me know down in the comments. Stay tuned for more Fortnite content coming soon. Chart Topper signing off.